What's up, everybody? I'm Dr. Winters. The World Cup's almost over, and it's almost the end of summer, which means you guys all have to go back to school. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up and, ruin your summertime. But anyways, you guys tagged me in a ton of videos, dental videos to be specific, and well, you guys want me to educate you on them, so we might as well just go ahead and get right into it, Cameron. All right, you guys tagged me in this a ton. Looks like I'm assuming, doing some braces, because the first thing they're doing is cleaning everything up. You got to, so the plaque and gunk does not stick. Ooh. This guy's fancy. He's putting some chapstick on there. Actually, we do that for a majority of patients just because it gets all dry and whatever. That is the etch and gel going on. It's interesting how it kind of changed colors there. It's kind of wild. But that's phosphoric acid, by the way, if you didn't know. If that gets on your cheek or lip, bad stuff can happen. All right, primer going on, and now we're getting the brackets on there. That's interesting that they're setting the back ones first. A lot of times you do that just because, like, saliva, everything can get in there. And then pressing all the glue out and then getting all that excess glue off of there so you don't have a lot of overhang. That is actually a bracket positioner. Fun fact, they have to be a very specific height. So some people do it by eye, and then a lot of people use these little bracket height gauges is what they're called. Now these are traditional brackets, so they're gonna get the O ties on there. A lot of people nowadays use self-ligating brackets like the Damon braces. That's what we use. Personally, I like them a little bit better, but a lot of people still use the traditional. Look at this man already putting the wax on there, because those hooks kind of like dig into the cheek sometime, and then getting them back in and going with the little brush. Nowadays, a lot of newer orthodontists don't even hand place brackets like this. We use these things called indirect bonding trays, and they just kind of like pop in, you light cure them, and then you peel them off, and the brackets are there. It's pretty sweet. We got him and said, I thought this was a teeth whitening video. Someone else said, braces for what? His teeth are perfect. And while I totally do get it, you don't always do braces for just the reasoning of straightening teeth. A lot of times it could be for some jaw issues and stuff. And if you actually look really close, you look at the front of his teeth, they're actually really chipped and worn down, which means he could have a little bit of a bite issue, a little underbite. Like that is my guess. And so he's probably going to get some rubber bands and pull that lower jaw back and get him out of this kind of traumatic bite is my guess. Either way, still really cool to see the process through. I never get tired of it. Not once. But let me know, have you gotten braces before? Let me know down below how it was done for you. All right, you guys. Oh my gosh, this girl again? I haven't seen this girl in like a year. Obviously, she's gonna do the purple. Oh my gosh, let me pause real quick. So it's actually been a while since I reacted to this girl, because way back in the day, she actually had a really bad case of veneers here in the front, and the gum tissue was like super crazy. And so I'm interested to see if her teeth still look the same or not. And it does look about the same still. Unfortunately, this is what happens when you have kind of big, bulky veneers or buildups that aren't like very hygienically made, and so the gum tissue just gets big and puffy. They don't look as bad as they used to, but they're definitely still, there's like, even if she's cleaning a ton, it's gonna be tough to get those really clean just because of the way that the restoration was made there. So it unfortunately does look like she never got those changed out or fixed. And you can kind of tell that gum tissue is just kind of really thick and puffy because of it. And yeah, the purple stuff isn't going to work either. But let's continue. All right, you can use a manual toothbrush. Don't care. That's just a very basic fluoride toothpaste, so nothing really crazy there. Yeah, you can really kind of see that gum tissue in the line there. Some dental floss. I will give her this. At least she's brushing and flossing. A little tongue scraping. Don't hate it. Get some of that gunk off there. That hand sanitizer, why would you do that? Oh God, don't put that in your mouth. Okay, at least it's going on your face. They have vibrating makeup brushes now? That's wild. And I never got into lip gloss. Never understood. Okay, I'm stopping right here. Why are we tapping on everything? Why we got to tappy tap on everything? That just goes to show you, even if you're good at cleaning your teeth, sometimes the actual restoration itself is the thing causing the problem and making the gums inflame and everything else like that. That's why it's really important to go to a good dental professional who knows how to make a really good restoration for you that'll last a long time and also be hygienic to clean. Layla says, or just brush your teeth and don't rinse it with water after. And actually, I didn't even catch that. Good catch, Layla. That's right. You're not supposed to rinse your mouth out with water after you brush your teeth, because that's the same thing as like if you put on sunscreen to go out to the beach or whatever, and then you're like, oh, let me take a shower and wash off all the sunscreen first before I go out there. You're literally putting it on your teeth for your teeth, and then you're rinsing it all off. It doesn't make any sense. So you want to at least leave it on there 30 minutes to an hour before you drink or eat anything. But what do I know? I'm just a dentist. Once our channel hits 10 million subscribers, I'm going to take this bracket off live on camera. So hit that subscribe button now. Wild Saturday night. Shooting tonsil stones out. What does she do? Oh, she's holding it down. We got the phone light and a little squirt. Dude, tonsil stones are the worst. If you guys don't know, a tonsil stone is basically food and gunk that's getting up into these little tonsil crypts. And then every time you swallow, the tonsils compress, and they compress it into a little stone of rotting, nasty smelling food. For those who don't know, it's nasty and it smells very unique. I don't know. You know, the guys who know. That's what we call true love. You know, fun fact, I actually invented the first ever water flosser that had a specific built-in tonsil stone removal nozzle mode, and now there's a light on it and everything too. Yeah, so you don't have to have your husband do this with the foam light. It's got a light built in and all that type of stuff. But you know, the fact that he did do it means he probably loves you very much. And another thing I would say is once you do get those tonsil stones out, you know, rinse with like a mouthwash or something every night, or you can salt water rinse and things like that to try and flush out those crypts every night so they don't become stones down the line. And if they get too bad, you can actually laser them shut too. You can like cauterize all the holes shut so that nothing can ever get in there too. That's another option. A little intense one, but still an option. Jan says, wait, so that's a soft thing that smells so bad? Yes. And like I said, if you know, you know. Do your thing down in the comments. What the heck are you guys... What? Oh my gosh. Well, I see why you guys tagged me in this. It's a little insane though. And I don't know if I like that you guys did tag me in this. Honestly, I'm going to have nightmares now. Well, let's see exactly what we got going on. So first off is obviously the tongue. That's probably what a lot of people are talking about. You probably think these are all cuts and scars and whatever, and that's actually not the case. This is called fissured tongue. It's a completely normal anatomic variation of the tongue. Now, it can get a little inflamed and stuff if you get food and gunk down there and you don't clean it very well. But yeah, no, there's nothing wrong about that at all. It's actually completely normal. One of the only normal things in this entire video, honestly. Next up, we got the teeth. Now, I'm assuming those are probably a little fake Bubba teeth situation. I highly doubt that she went and got those all made by a dentist or something, but you never know. She could have, if that was the case. They're composite fillings that are longer and they're like custom made and shaped and everything like that, which is an option. I just don't think that she went through and got those permanently done. She could have though, and if she did, that dentist did a pretty good job. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have nightmares now, actually, now that you guys tagged me in this one. And then Atari says, isn't this from nutrient deficiencies? And actually, fun fact, there is one of the cases for, you know, fissured tongue is nutritional deficiencies. And it often runs in families. So if your mom has it, the daughter might have it as well. And then normally you see it with like geographic tongue sometimes. It's a lot more common to see that with it. But still pretty cool. Just don't tag me in videos like this ever again, please. Thanks. All right, what do we got here? FYI, healed snake bite, by the way. What? It's that little thing pop. What is going on? Oh, it's a little pop top. Oh, I'm dumb. I'm not gonna lie. I said healed snake bite. I was like, how did this girl get bit by a snake in her face? How aggressive. And no, this is not from a venomous, poisonous attack from a snake. This is a piercing. It's a piercing type. And now that I know exactly what this is. This is what we call a scar tube. So anytime your body heals something, one of its, ways that it counteracts it is it heals into some scar tissue, around that area that you just pierced through. And so it just basically creates this long tube of scar tissue. So when you're done with that piercing, a lot of people that, not everybody gets these, but it's very common. And so you end up with these things called little scar tubes, and you can push them in and out, and that's exactly what that is. Now, if you do not have a piercing and you still have something like popping out like this, it's probably like a mucocele or something like that. But because this was a piercing, snake bite piercing, by the way. Now I know that. Okay, I get it now. This is actually just a scar. It's a scar. There we go. Raven Snape says, that's normal. Don't worry. It's called a scar tube. Is that what I call it? Scar tube? I think I said that, right? Scar tube? Kinsey said, I thought it was a pimple. And that's what I said. The mucoceles on the insides are kind of like pimples. You really can pop them because they're not scar tissue. They're actually just like blocked up saliva ducts in your lip. Just that blow up into a little bubble and you pop them. I don't know how common this is, honestly. Some people in the piercings world could probably chime down in the comments and let us know. Obviously, you know my stance on piercings in the mouth. I don't like them. They can chip teeth. They can cause problems over time. Actually, almost they always do at some point in the career of having them around your mouth, teeth, tongue, all that type of stuff. But you know what? You guys do whatever you guys want. I'm just here to inform. If you didn't know, I make videos like this every single week, so make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. Oh, making my own black grills with just one item? Okay. Oh, yeah. I've seen these little denture beads. I've never seen somebody put them on the entire mouth, though, to make a grill. That's actually really smart, I'm not gonna lie. For like a little temporary one, that's probably gonna actually work really good. And then you can kind of cut around the teeth to make it work. I really just don't, I never understood this black teeth trend, to be honest. I don't think it looks that great, personally, I would be scared.
Now you can do it any color
Okay,
you
really?
like with nail polish.
Oh, okay, so that's the one thing I'm not liking is that she's using nail polish. Obviously, there is tooth-safe polish that you can use that is probably safe, you know, food colorings and things that are safe for the mouth. If you're putting nail polish in, I don't think that's meant for your mouth. So, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, looking at it, the red, the black, it scares me. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If I had met my wife and she had black teeth, she might not be my wife right now. I'm not gonna lie. Probably would have just, I don't know, I would have been a little too scared. But you know what? To each their own. I'm sure there's tons of people out there that love black teeth. But the red ones scare me even more than the black ones do, honestly. Oak says, tooth pain exists, guys. Nail polish isn't safe to use orally. And that is true. Very good putting the PSA out there. I appreciate you. M says, are the dental beads easy to take off? And yes, actually, once they cool down, they're like a wax mold. It's just wax, basically. Probably wouldn't hold up that good, to be honest. Like if she just accidentally bit down, she would just probably bite right through it. But they do get fairly hard once they, you know, harden up. They're actually meant to be kind of a tooth replacement, temporary tooth replacement. And then Destiny says, real grills. Yeah, honestly, like I don't hate the real grills. You know, the solid stainless steel grill look. That's more cool to me than black grills. But what do I know? You know, I'm just a 30-something-year-old dentist. I might not be the hippest guy in the world anymore, so just take it with a grain of salt. All right, what do we got here? Okay, he's showing off the bite. Okay. All right, I see you. Okay, little show off over here. It's got a perfect bite. But for real though, let's take a look at the bite and see what we got going on. All right, that is a pretty darn good bite. You know, when we're looking as an orthodontist, when you come in for your treatment plan, we get the pictures, the x-rays, all the type of stuff. There's really 3 bites that you can land on. And this one is the perfect one. This is what we call a class 1 bite. This is when the molars, the premolars, everything just fit right into their little grooves and they're just kind of like perfectly socked in there. It's awesome. Now from here, you can have 2 really abnormal bites. There is one called an underbite, or what we call a class 3 bite. And a class 3 bite is where those lower teeth are actually shifted forward because that lower jaw is either growing too fast or that upper jaw is not growing fast enough. And if you look at that bite, it ends up looking like this. So you actually have this underbite here. Now, sometimes they can still fit together really good, but every tooth is shifted forward one where it should be. And the other one is what we call a class 2 bite. This is when the opposite thing happens, where your upper jaw grows too fast or your lower jaw didn't grow fast enough, or a combo of the two. And then we see those upper teeth are actually shifted forward out of where they need to be. So your orthodontist, when he takes a look at your stuff, he's looking specifically at your bite. And then depending on what your bite is, we use rubber bands, either front to back or back to front, to actually correct that bite over time using braces or even Invisalign. But you love to see it when someone comes in and just got a perfect bite like this. I don't know if he got this from orthodontics or if it was just naturally for him. You know, he just had a good bite, but good on him. And just so you know, you can have a perfect bite in the back and still have tons of crowding and other issues elsewhere. It's just one piece of the puzzle that an orthodontist looks like to give you that perfect Hollywood smile through your braces journey. Omar says, occlusion, 10 out of 10. And honestly, yeah, I'm stoked whenever I see that because honestly, it's less work for me because I don't have to correct the bite. It's great. And Bertu Kana says, this is the flex you think it is. And it honestly, it really is. We love to see a good bite naturally. We sure do. And honestly, teeth are the first thing that people notice whenever they see you. So having good teeth, good bite, Hollywood smile is one of the pinnacle of just awesomeness that you can do. Unfortunately, naturally perfect teeth like this are pretty rare. Not gonna lie. Very, very rarely do I see somebody with just really good natural teeth. And we can get into that later, but that's gonna take a whole nother video to explain. So if you wanna hear about that, just put it down in the comments. Either way, congrats to you, sir. You hit the lottery. Well, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, you already know what to do. I'll see you next week in the next one. Peace!